We about to get started.
Have given everything for our
Oh, my bad. Let me turn this off.
extraordinary cost to themselves.
Yo, family, we about to have us a good show. I need y'all to come over here. We got the Apple Vision Pros on tonight. Right now, I am looking at this scenery that is beautiful. It's like a mountain range of clouds. I can even hear it. Damn near could smell it. This is exactly what I was talking about back in the day when I was trying to explain to people that spatial computing was coming. Now that it's here, of course, I had to try it out. And we're going to be live over at YouTube right now. We're actually live on YouTube, so y'all can come over and come check us out as I give you my review. Plus, we're about to talk about a few different things. One of the topics is the zestification of hip hop. The justification of hip hop is gonna be an interesting conversation, but we actually got a lot of great conversation for y'all tonight because there's a lot of topics to go over. We only gonna be live for an hour, right? So I need y'all to come over here and come tap in.
An hour? No.
Yeah, that's all we got for y'all tonight. Y'all come over here. Come join me live at YouTube right now. I'm gonna see y'all. Peace. And I'm gonna tell y'all what Snoop told us about the metaverse as well, because you definitely don't want to miss this game. Woo! Okay. We definitely gonna get into these.
Peace, God. Peace,
Oh,
God.
you wasn't. Peace to the God.
Peace to the God, bro.
Man,
How
I
you
ain't know
feeling
y'all
today?
was here.
Yeah, we live, bro. We live.
You
Welcome
gotta.
to the Man Show where we talk like guys. I'm your host, Steve Jones. This is my brother, 19 Keys. And today, we got a array of topics to talk about today. But first, I want to talk about why you been walking around looking like a robot all day.
First of all, it's an android, not a robot. You know what I mean?
You think you the Terminator now.
Android is somebody that got like tech, and human features. Robot is just full tech, right? So you can't walk around being a robot. You gotta be. Hold on, I'm about to drop this link for the people. But I just got the Apple Vision Pros. I have a lot of thoughts on these that I will be sharing throughout the show. Some of the things that I like that's pros, some of the things that I think that are cons with this. I got some instant pros and cons with this already. First of all, the price is very expensive, so of course it won't be adopted by everybody. And I feel like something like this is better when you have a lot of your friends on it, right? So they have this great feature on there where you can FaceTime people, and essentially it's like a hologram, right, that projects the image in front of you. Now, I think that feature is great, but if you don't have other people in your circle that has the Apple Vision Pro, then it's not that useful, right? You can, of course, do video conferencing, video calls. They have, of course, apps that's built out inside the Apple Store to where you can watch spatial movies, right? I imagine they're going to have spatial games. And if you didn't know, spatial technology or spatial computing era is essentially, layering the virtual reality, right, to where it's a mixed reality, to where it's, it scans on top of, let's say, this particular room, and then it adds images in the room that you can use. So I can increase the size of a movie that I want to watch, or I can have avatars floating all around, or it can overlay this whole entire experience and it can transform it into the moon, right? Or I can look up and I can see space in real time where there's stars and things of that nature. Which actually brings me to probably one of the best features, which is mindfulness. And I know a lot of people like, we don't need technology for mindfulness. Unfortunately, we do have a vast population of people who use technology, But mindful tech, I think, is the future. Apple is going super big on that right now, and I think that those are going to be some of the features that probably is going to be helpful and useful to a lot of people, being able to meditate in these different places. Yeah, there's a lot really to go over. Design-wise, I think it could have been better, for sure. I think the front is super heavy, so you feel that while you're experiencing it and using it. That's a notable feature as soon as you put it on. They have 2 straps in the back that you can change out depending on your head size. I like this one as being more comfort. The other one is this band that kind of straps to the back. Then you can tighten it on this side. And then, of course, they have a battery pack that you have to carry around. So this is the power device that you have to keep at all times, right? And or have it plugged in. And it has a cooling fan because you can get hot, and sometimes it can overheat through overusage. Depending on how long that you're utilizing it, it may say bad connection, or it may say your avatar is not working well, right? So if I'm giving it like a scoring system right off the rip, I would have to give it mixed grades. I would say, like, from the video component, I give it an A plus. AK, the spatial technology, the retina displays are very powerful, to where there's this one show where you basically, it feels like these rhinos are walking up to you. And it feels so real that it's almost like you experiencing it. Like, they feel so close, you almost kind of like jump back because there's not much differentiation between like reality. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like I'm in a virtual reality. It feels like I'm in reality. That part was a little crazy to me.
Before the show had started, you had Facetime me from the goggles, right?
Oh, yeah.
So every one of them come with an avatar. You have to create that yourself, because a little cartoon popped up on my phone when you did that.
Yeah, so I had to, when you first start, you have to turn it towards you, and you have to rotate your face, eyes, eyebrows, mouth, upward, downward, tilt, left, right, and then it creates a avatar on you instantly. So you use your hands in order to, change the size of screens, or you got to look. So it really operates based on your eyes very well. So wherever you look, it highlights, right? So you really kind of get used to having to look at where you're pointing. Now I can record in here, right? The things that I do, and I can record, and you can see everything that I'm doing in here as well, which I will do a little bit during this. Now I had the Microsoft one as well, and Microsoft one had nothing on this as far as the visual component to it. I haven't played any of the games, but theirs were utilized in industrial sense. So, imagine, in the medical sense, surgeons, or even in factories, they used it, I think, a lot in the surgical realm. Architecture, you're designing platforms with other people that you can have like workspaces to where y'all designing something all together. I think that's super dope. I think one thing is that everybody can't travel. So unfortunately, it would be nice for everybody to be able to go all across the planet Earth, visit these different places you want. But now with these, it's going to feel like you actually have. Besides actually having like the energy of the place that you go to, is like, going to the Great Pyramids, you're not going to get the energy vortex that the pyramids have, but it will feel like you're in that room. I promise you. And they're going to be building out more components to this, because we've already had virtual reality, but now that we have spatial reality, it's going to be different, because they're going to build spaces to where you're going to be able to feel the air temperature, smell. So it's going to be a real, realistic experience. So you should be able to travel anywhere in the world based on this sensory immersion experience, right? Which I think will be interesting, because not only is it going to be so realistic, because it's going to be mapped to the exact dimensions of the places. So it'll be like if you was really there. I see the future in these for sure. I see Apple actually deciding to say that, hold on, let me call you so you can see it.
Man, don't call me.
I can see the future.
I don't want
for
to
sure.
talk. Decline.
Nah, so you should see my avatar. Can you see it? Can you show the people?
You look like you. Can y'all see this? You can zoom in. Pull it back.
That's crazy.
How you get it to wear the crown? So whatever you got on that day,
Yeah, of course I'm gonna have a crown on in it. Come on now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, that's how it looks. That's how it works. So I'm gonna take these off for now. Oh, welcome to the new Black Mirror. Cause you see this is a Black Mirror. That's why they called it Black Mirror, because of the mirrors on the phone.
Yeah.
So when people say Black Mirror come in reality, Apple really is the one that make these screens Black Mirror come to fruition. All right, what are you all thoughts? Will you use the Apple Vision Pro? I can definitely see so many different ways. I kind of like the fact that it's heavy right now, because I think it's going to limit the use.
Oh, somebody asked, can you see in front of you? Like when you got these
Yeah.
on,
You can either completely immerse yourself, or you can see in front of you. So what it does is it has cameras on the front. So the cameras point outward, and then there's a screen on the inside, and it shows you everything that's in front of you, right? So it's the same as if you can see now. So you can walk. There's people biking on planes all throughout the world utilizing them, because you can't have real life experiences and utilize the goggles at the same time. So the answer is yes for that. There was something else I wanted to say, but I'll get back to it. But there you go. I want you all to let me know if you think that these are a good idea. If you want to try them out. We don't have a giveaway or anything, but I'm just saying. Let me know. Because it was expensive. This model right here is around $3,500. That's not something that the average person can afford. So obviously, they're working with planned obsolescence. So with planned obsolescence, you always put out the inferior model, right? So they had this one already patented, right? I believe it was what year was that? 2007? Yeah, something like that. And then the Simpsons even predicted that same year, so-calledly. But I think I think companies just share stuff with Simpsons just so they can have that predictive programming. But anyway, this was patented in 2007, so you have to think about, possibly how farther more advanced it could be. Part of the reason why this is so big, I believe, is because they got this fan in here, so there's internal cooling compartment, right? But in the future, what's going to happen is you're going to make it, smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, right? To where it's just going to be like glasses. Now, that may be third model out. But here's the thing. Right now that they've released theirs, they're starting these VR head wars. So what they're going to do is they're growing the spatial industry and the VR industry. Everybody can afford these. So I'm already seeing campaigns where people be like, yo, can't afford the Apple? Don't worry. You can get these for $400. You can get these for $500 or $1,000. So people are going to have different versions of VR going around. But now that there's the luxury, there's also going to be the mid-size. This is just like the Mercedes-Benz of VR right now. You feel me? But they got the Camrys. They got the Toyotas. You know what I'm talking about? They got the Hondas that you can get. You know what I'm saying? They got the mid-size vans. The experience is going to be different, and they're going to come out with more and more things so that they can keep making trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. That's my review. Can you do me a favor and turn down the air? It is hot. I think that's heat on. So what we talking about first, Steve?
Well, let's get to it, man, before it become old, right? So the Grammys was this past weekend or whatnot. We got a chance to attend a few of the little parties for the Grammy weekend. We actually ran into Kanye. We got to see Kanye this weekend. A few other people or whatnot. But what I want to talk about is the Killer Mike winning the Grammy, man. I think you had called it on the man that he had the best album of the year. He actually won 3 Grammys that night, man. What's your thoughts on that? And he also got arrested.
Killer Killer Mike deserved every bit of those Grammys. I think it's one of the few times in history where I know a lot of rappers was hating, but I don't care, right? Y'all can hate on him all he want. You can say Travis Scott supposed to win. You can say your homie supposed to win. It don't matter. He won. And he got 3 of them. That means he came in and he swept. He swept while you wept. You feel me? Because the album that he put out, he deserved that, especially over a lot of that sucker music y'all put out. That music y'all putting out, you ain't said nothing in your lyrics. It's just a bunch of vibes, but you ain't said nothing, right? And y'all know that. You ain't saying nothing. Say something of substance. Give us something of value. Killer Mike gave us bars. He gave us beautiful production. Man, he gave great cadence on it. He had good themes on it. It was his perfect album. So for him to win by putting out, is rare that somebody puts out their best work, right? And the context of it is like conscious and you feel me, is good music. And they get to win at the same time. That sets a better precedent than some of them other rap fools winning because they ain't talking about nothing. You feel me? And they with the zestification of hip hop. So I like the fact that he won. I love that. Make better music. Make music that actually matters. You feel me? And maybe you'll win too. Because right now people tired of that. You making the same old sound over and over and over. And everybody think they got the science to, or we gonna do this and we crack the code. I like the fact that things get shaken up a bit. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise they become mundane and boring. Your favorite rapper does the same thing that they know is supposed to work and then they win. Nah.
Actually, speaking on that, Lil Durk actually won for All My Life with J. Cole. And we used to Lil Durk for having the drill music, but when he switched it up this time, did something for the kids, he actually brought it home, man. Took the Grammy home. Shout out to Lil Durk. For sure. I think I called it. Matter of fact, I did call that out on the man he was supposed to win, for sure. But what else happened? Oh, over the weekend you ran into Snoop Dogg, man. Tell me about that.
All right. So, first of all, shout out to Snoop. We had a really dope, it was the Grammy weekend. It was really dope. We met a lot of people. Can you change the title for me? I'll just put it in there. We met a lot of great people. Add something, put Biden in there. Put Biden's last days or something. I don't know. Put 2 words only. Biden. Don't put death though. But we ran into Snoop. Shout out to Snoop, man. And shout out to my brother Rams 1500, man. He had us over there at 1500 Academy, and basically it was like, I got a surprise for y'all. We pulled up, Snoop there. I'm like, oh, what's happening with you, Every time I see Snoop, it's always love. From the first time I seen Snoop, man, he showed nothing but major love each and every time. He one of those few people, man, he don't act Hollywood, don't know Hollywood, man. He act like where you from, you know what I'm talking about? But when we was in there, he was lacing us with game because, we working on a lot of things behind the scene, and he was just giving us a game about his experience. You'll know about what it's like starting something black owned, which was very interesting because, there's this concept of like ghost companies now, right?
Yeah.
Where is it better, and y'all, we can poll the audience, is it better to start a company where everybody knows it's you? Yeah, pull that and shut up. You start a company where everybody knows it's you, right? Or is it better to start a ghost company? Because black owned gets a bad rap. So do you just want the company to be known as a good product, a good service, a good company, right? Or do you want the founder story, the brand story, right? To have to market yourself part of that for a platform and image. That's what I was just going to say.
I think it depends on your marketing strategy. Like if you want to use your celebrity to push this brand, I think you should absolutely tell the people that you're a black brand instead of being a ghost brand or whatnot. But at the same time, we know like when you're dealing with large retail stores, they got a history of being racist to black people,
Yeah, I mean, and not even just them, but forget the retail stores, because his issue, of course, was with Walmart, that they were hiding his cereal in the back.
Yeah.
Now, here's the problem with black people sometimes. We don't know how to just support a cause. Yes, the cereal is not the best cereal. Master P don't put out the best products. All right, that's done. We know that. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna support my brother in his cause. Cause guess what? Whether they're white, black, brown, Asian, Chinese, I don't know who own any of those other cereals, right? But they get to have that shelf space and doesn't get to have that bias that goes against them. So when somebody that looks like me comes to me with a fight that they having because of the way that they look like, I'm not gonna be like, well, I don't support your business, so therefore I can't support you. No, we locked in arms and we support each other. You know what I mean? That's tribe membership.
Yeah.
Anything else is weirdo behavior and it's sucker. That's not how we operate. You feel me? You gotta be on God time at all times. So y'all gotta learn how to be on code with things. You know what I mean? Like your opinion doesn't always need to be heard on stuff, right? Sometimes you gotta operate with that old thing. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. That's it. So yeah, I'm 100% in support of the fact that
Facts.
you know he wants equality. Because even when there's somebody that you think deserve that shelf space because they make the perfect healthy product, guess what? Theirs gonna be in the back too. Not because it's a bad product, right? Or it's unhealthy, but because they look like you. They black, they melanated, right? So the goal is to root it out so we can kick down the door. So when we have an equal playing field, when we want equity. So, you know, Snoop shared that story with us. You feel me? He shared a lot more gang with us as well that I will be sharing in clips as I drop them. You feel me? But it's that whole thing, man. It's hard to start something and your own people come after you. You know what I'm saying? They attack you. They, you know, you know, this is why people market outside of black a lot of times. You know, Tyler Perry was able to do it, right? He put on the dress. He was able to get success, all right? As far as becoming a billionaire. Robert Smith, he didn't become a billionaire off of black people, but now he's taking some of his money. He's giving it to HBCUs and things of that nature. You got people like not Kevin Hart, but we got Jay-Z. Jay-Z didn't just become a billionaire off black people, right? He had his different brand deals that he was able to do. Hip-hop didn't make him a billionaire. Leveraging of hip-hop made him a billionaire. And that was only going to happen if he was able to mainstream his audiences and leverage his celebrity, right? What other billionaires? We got Rihanna. Rihanna couldn't have just sold to black people and got rich. Now, of course, the culture has 80% influence over retail, right? So we influence what we buy, what we like, not just for black people, but for the world. And this is what you have to understand. So this is how they were able to become so successful, is that they didn't create black products. They created mainstream products, right? And they used the influence that they have, right? Because we influence everything, and they was able to create deals and sell products, right, to where they was able to, you know, get up to make $1 billion. But black-owned media, and they was having this conversation, and I got these stats from my brother Keenan Beasley, but I seen EYL having this conversation with Roland Martin, and they was having a conversation about black media, and BET is not black-owned. And it's another one that's not black owned, but they have what you call black centric audience. Means that the base and the core of their audience is black. So therefore they get black ad spending. So money that they got,
like Tubi.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a 5% allocation for advertisers to spend with black. It's supposed to be, right? So a company would be like, look, we're gonna give you these advertisers because you got a lot of black people that watch your show. Why are they giving you that money? So that you can influence what black people buy. Right? That's the whole game. So they I think it was like Complex, right? Like you said, Tubi, right? BET, they have black centric audiences. So, but they don't get the backlash, right? Because they're not black and they don't have no expectation to do anything for black people, but we watch those shows and we support those shows. And they get supported to get advertising because they have influence over our attention, right? So it's sad that we can't grow a business, right? Being black, creating a product that's black owned without being attacked by your own people. But white people are able to create products, get paid off of it, and get none of the backlash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm not about to be sitting up here and criticizing black people and things of that nature, because it's not even an equal playing field. And when people do that, man, y'all just have, that's self-hate. That's degradation, man. I'm not doing none of that.
Speaking of the black love, it's Black History Month.
Like History Month.
Black History
It's
Month.
Melanin Future Month.
Yeah, how has how you think the I don't, you know, like it's different now, right? With black, when we was growing up in history, we had to read the books, watch a couple movies. Now we got social media. How you think the digital age shifted the way we view Black History Month?
I just think that it don't hit the same no more.
Yeah.
Black History Month has been commercialized, right? Honestly, all this stuff I see, these fake black media outlets, when y'all get so-called pro-black during this time, anytime, this is how you spot a fake black person and supposed to be of the culture. When they get more black, so-calledly, during February, you're supposed to be the same. It's supposed to be no difference. You know what I'm saying? I seen Liar Cohen, what's his name? Liar, you know,
Cohen.
I think it's Cohen.
It's
Yeah,
Cohen.
yeah. I seen him I was at the YouTube Africa Music over Grammy weekend, and he there, and he got on his Africa garb. That's how black people be looking during this season. All of a sudden, you African kente cloth, Black Power, Malcolm X. Come on, man. Stop the flex, man. Stop the cap. You feel me? All of a sudden, your corporate manager and stuff don't mind if you extra black right now. Come on, man, because I just don't like it at this point. It's too commercialized. I don't say that it's not important and it's not necessary, because some of y'all wouldn't be black no other time.
That's what I was getting to.
You feel me? But at the same time, it's like, man, we don't need black with a leash on it. You feel me? Like, we need you to be that way all year round. Matter of fact, at this point, I could do away with it in the sense that, you feel me? If it ain't in you, it ain't in you. I'd rather know who's real. You feel me? You know I do this all year round. I'm going to teach you about, I'm not about to, it's February, let me teach you about black. It's February, let me hire you to come speak now. Why? I'm not no February speaker. You feel me? Like, I'm all year round black thought leadership every single day, all day. So for people to specify and niche it to the smallest month of the year as if we got to hurry up before this time expires to where we're appreciated as a people whose goddamn contribution stems from the beginning of time, that's crazy to me. But we should be focusing on the future, and then the conversations that we do have, we gonna rotate another Martin Luther King celebration and movie. Honestly, no disrespect to Martin Luther King, Coretta, the family, but I'm tired of hearing about Martin Luther King. And I don't mean that personally to Martin Luther. I mean that in the sense that that's all y'all know. Like, come on, can we have a conversation about what's my brother? Noble Drew Ali. Let's have a conversation about Noble Drew Ali. Why we gotta be why gotta be Martin Luther King? You know what I'm saying? Let's have a conversation about Father Allah, right? And his influence over the whole entire culture of hip hop. Yeah. Let's have that conversation. Let's take the things that are considered taboo subjects of consciousness that are a part of the history that we don't talk about, and let's have those conversations more mainstream. You feel me? But taking the one token that's acceptable and having those conversations and say, I'm black, I'm like Martin, I'm like Malcolm. Come on, man, that's cap. You feel me? Talk about what is unspoken. Talk about the Dogon people and their ability to be able to chart stars before there was a category of astronomy. Talk about Imhotep. You feel me? When they creating the Doja pyramids and step pyramids and architecture of beauty, and they was the ones that was teaching when they had the mystery schools of Egypt. Man, let's get into a different conversation about the Cushites and things of that nature. Like, can we have a conversation that spans to the Sumerians and how those was melanated people really rocking in those spaceships? We can't have no real conversation about how the black bull was a representation of that black God power, and it also as a representation of the black bull represented God. Come on, man. Let's bring back that taurine energy across the planet Earth. If y'all want to have a conversation, you feel me? But let's not have a conversation just only about a few black African Americans that we are allowed to discuss out loud. Man, y'all capping, y'all fake. That's how I feel. It's Melanin Future Month. Let's talk about what our future gonna be and what we want to do for the future. How about that?
What's the future of this year looking like from 19 Keys?
I don't want to talk about that. Nah, I'm just playing. Future look good, man.
Cut.
Future look good, man. It's takeover time, man. You
Take
know,
over.
We got a lot of things I want to do in the background. I feel like I built the platform. I have connections, resources, you feel me? Knowledge, information, and access, and I want to build. You know, the things that I want, you know, I had a conversation with Robert Grant. He's a scientist, but he's a multi super rich guy. And I tell him, I say, you know what? It's something about you I like because you are able to create the things that I think about. I don't have the resources yet to create all those things, right? But he's able to build these applications and these inventions because you got this imagination and then you got plus the resources, right? That's when you get to live out all your wildest dreams, thoughts, and ideas, right? And if anything, this is a time for advanced dark imagination. Go into the recesses of your mind and just think about the wildest reality that could be possible. That's the only place to dream from. Everything else is fear. That's it. You got to go into your mind. I'm talking about think about what the world is now. This is a white man's wildest dreams. Yeah. This is a gay person's wildest dream, or a Jewish person's wildest dreams, or an Indian person's wildest dreams, right? This ain't the black person's wildest dreams. Come on now, I'm talking about we got to get to the wildest dreams. Like, you walk outside, man, and it's a goddamn 1,000-foot statue of you. You own everything. You got a whole golden building that's just you. You know what I'm saying? I got a fountain of healthy ginger ale.
Stop it, man. I found the red wine.
You know what I'm saying? Like, can we get to fly? Every pastry shop I go to, they serve bean pie.
Nah, you going too far now. Like, ain't nobody finna be going to no pastry shop buying bean pie.
Every pastry shop, the way y'all think about potato pie, they got bean pie everywhere. I'm talking about wildest dreams.
Got cheesecake.
Yeah, come on with it.
Straight up.
Mr. Farrakhan, the president of the United States. Wildest dreams. Can we get to it though? Like, we need to think a little bigger. You feel me? And listen, I know y'all don't be liking technology, but I grew up as a tech kid. You feel me? I watched Star Wars, Stargate, Star Trek. I've always been in tune with the stars. I want spaceships and robots. I just don't want their robots. Y'all worried about their robots. I'll be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger coming, turning into liquid metal. You feel me? Tripping. You ain't seen no black robots doing none of that. Black robots would be relaxing, man. I don't know why robots always spend their time trying to kill stuff. I don't get it. You feel me? Like, maximize your time on this earth. It's only 7+8 billion people on the planet. You only got a short job. It don't make no sense. So, you know, we think about creation stories instead of destruction stories, right? Like, that's my wildest dreams. We create, like, the world problems would be solved so fast. So that's not even the wildest dream, right? Like, solving poverty. That stuff is easy. That's just reconstructing some systems. But we talk about wildest. It's after all those problems is gone. And what would have you said when you was younger? Flying cars and jetpacks. Now they hear people acting like we ain't outside. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, yo, we got flying cars and jetpacks and people.
I'm cool on the flying cars.
It's chilling. Look at you. Scary.
I got to see some more people flying the car first.
We got airplanes already. What are you talking about?
Different.
We got airplanes and jets,
different.
And we've had flying cars. You go to Dubai, there's a jet man that flies around Dubai all day long. He got an Instagram, millions of followers. What are you talking about?
Send it to me.
It's been outside. People have been jet gliding. He said flying cars
I ain't getting in the flying car in 2024.
But an airplane is a flying car.
Stop it.
The same technology. What you think they go do different? An airplane is a flying car. I don't know what you're talking about. What you think a helicopter is?
Well,
that's a van. That's what they look like, little vans flying. What are you talking about? What are we talking about here? This technology been around, man. We got to get back to our wildest dream. We be afraid of everything. And then the people that be anti-technology don't even be in nature. Man, go hug a tree. Go hike. Go to the beach.
He say go hug a tree.
I'm saying, like, we gotta get to it, man. Be up there,
Stop.
man. Get on your yogi if that's what you want to be on. But just go out and live whatever part of life. Go live the vast polarity of that to your wildest dreams. You asked me, so now I'm in my energy.
Yeah. Speaking of energy and whatnot, let's talk about this Egypt trip real quick again. You know, I know you want to go. You taking a few people to Egypt, man. What's this, May or March?
In May.
In May.
So inshallah, we have this beautiful trip in Egypt for bidding tours, right? So you gotta make sure that you close out. I think we're gonna, once we get all of those who are ready and committed on the trip, we're going to close it out. We won't be accepted anymore. Listen, first of all, this is like a billionaire's tour. I want y'all to understand that. I'm talking about private access. They clear it out when we get there. The chambers that we're going to have access to, you can't get as a general public. You might even, I don't care if you're a celebrity, you can't get access to this. This is military, government, big boy clearance, right? And then the mastermind and the tribe that's going to be there, oh man, these are going to be the kind of connections that you're going to make that's going to take you to the Orion Star. You feel me? This ain't your regular, I'm just leaving America. No, that's you coming back bigger and better. You feel me? Like, we talking about deal setting. We talking about changing the energy and the atmosphere as we move. You feel me? It's different when you have conversations over Tutankhamun's tomb. You know what I'm talking about? It's a different conversation. You feel me? When we walking through the Karnak Temple or visiting Hatshepsut, you feel me? Talking to the queens out there.
Visiting the what?
The Hatshepsut.
The cordyceps. Stop it.
I'm serious. It's going to be high vibrational flying, man, because you know, my brother Aristotle said he's coming.
Yeah, shout out to Aristotle.
Last time he went with me to Ghana, we had an amazing trip. My Ghana trip looked better than everybody's trip, by the way. Shout out to my brother Memphis. His birthday coming up soon. He invited me out to Spain, so I might pull up there. If you in Spain, let me know. If you in Madrid, Spain, tap in with me. But it was an amazing trip, man. You know, I always like to get in deep into the spirituals. And some of the places that we're going to visit, we're going to be showing you new recent discoveries, right, that they have just unveiled. I was talking with, you know, one of the top scientists that had just, you know, recently showed some of the astrology signs that were hitting, right, in some of the tombs. And he was explaining to me some of the new discoveries with some of the tombs, right, that they just found that kind of like represent the throat chakra. And he was explaining that he believes that, you know, some of these revelations happen over time at different points in time because society is reaching new levels, right? You know, going upward in energy towards that crown chakra. But right now we're in the throat chakra, communication. So this is why independent media will have its biggest year yet, right? Some of the knowledge and information that we share when we out there, I promise you, it will never be shared again. The ceremonious time, the ceremonies that we have, the walk that we share together, the mastermind that we go through, the empowering, the party that we have, the vibes, man, it's the wildest dreams. So make sure y'all go to 19keys.com/tour/events. The guides that we have along, oh my God. So the way it works is you're gonna have to fly out to Cairo, but once you get there, we handle everything. The food, we're talking about the best hotels, 4-season stays, right? The travel, all of that's taken care of once you're in Egypt. It's gonna be a chance of a lifetime. So I suggest you make sure you tap in now. Go to 19keys.com/tours/events and make sure you get your spot. This is your spot in history. Tap in.
Yeah, now let's talk about the man. Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, so I seen him yesterday, y'all. Maybe it was yesterday or the day before, but man, you can just tell he old as hell now, bro. He confused the Egyptian president with the president of Mexico on national TV. And then in the same breath, he say that he's the most qualified person to run the country. What's your thoughts on that?
Sleepy Joe need to go to sleep, man. So worse than that. Let me tell you, this man Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, he definitely won't be able to do a debate with Trump. If they the two candidates, he ain't gonna be able to debate with Trump at all.
That's gonna be Joe.
He
That's gonna be funny.
He gonna make a fool of Joe Biden for sure.
Hold on, I'm going live, so real quick. So that to me is gonna be funny and interesting, right? So did you see what the court said about Sleepy Joe?
No, I didn't see that. Enlighten me.
All right, so I'm about to give you some enlightenment. You ready? Yo, we live on YouTube. Make sure y'all come tap in. So, Sleepy Joe is bad. So you know why they raided Donald Trump house, right? So they raided Donald Trump house. Could you pass me the sword while I talk war? Y'all meet us live on YouTube right now. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. So they raided Mr. Trump's house because they say that he took, documents that were of national security interest, right? Confidential, outside of the White House, which is a big no-no. It's not something you're supposed to do. What's up with you, the good brother Neo in the house? That's not something you're supposed to do. But yet, he did this. He did this. So they raided that man's house, threw a case on him.
They found the documents in his house?
They found the documents in his house.
But he's not
in my Denzel, they found the documents. They got him.
So he out on bond now.
But here's the kicker. They found the documents on Sleepy Joe too. Sleepy Joe took documents out the house that were confidential. Secret documents. But what the court said, they said the man memory's so bad that we can't even put a case on him. They saying that he's so mentally incompetent that he didn't know what he was doing. So they can't even press charges on him because I guess they would have to prove competency that he did it on purpose. But they say his memory's so bad, they can't even get a man a case. Now, how is that not?
Hold on, my bad. You talking about Joe Biden, right? They found these documents in his house.
Yeah, now they found, that's why they caught.
Because I thought you was talking about Trump.
No, they already caught Trump for the same thing. Now they caught Biden for the same thing. But the man memory so bad, he first of all, he forgot he was president. And he forgot it was secret. And he forgot it was confidential. And he forgot where he was.
Oh, so maybe he just playing crazy so he won't have to go to trial and all that. You know when you do that, you don't go to trial.
You can't play crazy when you president.
I mean, shit, when you facing some jail time shit, I act crazy.
You can't play crazy when you president.
I play crazy shit.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That man, you can't play. Listen, meet us on YouTube. You can't play crazy when you president, dog. That's the whole point of it. Like, if you are mentally incompetent, right? Then you cannot run. You cannot run a country, and you should not be president. I'm not saying that this automatically qualifies and make Trump president. I'm saying that the Democrats want even to make this a fighting chance. Yeah. Number one, Biden needs to resign. He needs to give up that office once his term is up. And they need to put a candidate in there that has a fighting chance. And this candidate has to be highly favorable and liked. And they're going to have that zeal to be able to go against Trump. Otherwise, this is a sweep like Killer Mike for Trump. I'm talking about a sweep. I'm talking about get the broom, get the broom, get the broom. A sweep. And it's over.
Like Biden ain't got a clue, man. He real life going to people's house eating chicken with black people, trying to get a vote. That's his whole
Kamala
campaign.
throwing
Man.
parties. She inviting everybody. I see my brothers EYL and Master Investor. Shout out to them. They was at the White House. I seen them post a picture, and I talked to them about it. But Kamala, you gonna need more than them parties if you want to stay in that White House. You gonna need more of them parties.
Why you didn't go to the party?
Oh man.
I'm going to the Black House.
They don't listen. See, this is why they lose. This is why they losing. See, the Republican Party, or let's say Trump. Trump, if he felt like you can help him win, he'd invite you. He don't care about all your background differences. He'd invite you. The Democrats, no. They don't rock with the black Muslims. They don't rock with certain ones that they consider deemed radical or outside the bounds of being influenced to whatever thing that they want to lay out in their agenda and their plan. They don't invite that. So this is why I couldn't be for. If you, and maybe I could be wrong, but I would have to be proven wrong. I could never cap for a Democrat because they couldn't even support me publicly. And I don't even understand how there are so many people who can willingly and openly support the Democratic Party, but they can't do the same thing when it comes to empowering and supporting their brother, right? When the Democrats have a terrible reputation, right? Maybe they've done some good. Maybe they've passed some great bills, right? All we know is that we end up having to cap for them more because they don't even know how to explain to us what they've done for us, which to me means that they didn't do it directly for us, because if they did, then they would be like, look, this is what we did for y'all, this is what we did for y'all. No. We have talking heads inside our culture that be like, hey, you know you did this and you did this, and black people will take that as something that y'all did for us. So they're painting a narrative, but they're not doing anything explicitly for us. Otherwise, it would be easy to say, hey, we've done this explicitly for you. But that's not what happens. So the messaging on both sides is terrible, but specifically the Democrats, I put more onus on the Democrats because they get the majority of our black women vote, right? And the black male vote. So I don't need to talk to the Republicans because the loyalty has been already given to the Democrats. And now they're losing that base, and that base is going to be shifted over to Trump country. And no matter how much y'all try to tell them you're racist, you don't understand that they already believe that you're racist. Not because of what you said, but because of your behavior. And not one of you all have a policy that directly affects black men in this country. Not one of you all have bills that are directly targeted to say, listen, we know you have the highest rate of incarceration. We know you have the highest rate of mental health issues. Yep. We know young black males, especially young boys, commit the highest rate of suicides. We know you have the highest rate of cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, gun violence, right? We know you have all of the highest rates. So look, this is what we're going to do for you. If there are no tangibles, there ain't nothing to talk about.
I'm going to segue off of that, right? Speaking of black men, right now, this topic right here hit home with me, right? I seen the rapper GHerbo on the podcast or whatnot, and he got to talking about his brother who is now deceased, and he was basically explaining like he feel like it was his fault, you know, because he couldn't save him. He tried to put him in a position, but his brother still had the street mentality, you know, so he ended up, you know, getting killed or whatnot. But during the interview, he started crying, you know, and I felt like that was good on his behalf, you know, to like release all of that trauma, whatnot that he go through. Cause shit, it be times when I'm out with Keys sometimes, right? And sometimes I can't fully enjoy the moment because I be thinking about people that I done lost during my journey in life or whatnot. And that shit kind of registered home with me though when I seen that. You know, it's like I ain't the only black man going through that in America. You know, It's a lot of us who feel like that, you know, like we be wanting to change so bad, you know, and then when we finally do change, we try to bring the other ones with us, and they just don't grasp it, you know. So you can't really like, even though you can get all the success in the world, you feel me? But you just will never like fully enjoy it because you would wish that person was there to experience it with you, man. You know.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to check that out?
I didn't watch the full clip, but I know what you're talking about. I mean, I live it. At this point, I can hear about any subject of trauma that black men go through and have empathy and have a story and connection in relating to it. It's something that we all deal with. And a lot of time black men don't talk about these things because we don't want to be crying on camera. Yeah. We don't want to have because here's the thing, the world don't care. So it's like, it's not that we don't want to be tapped into our emotions, but as y'all say, there are no safe spaces for black men. That's for sure. You can say what you want to, but when we start bringing up all of that and showcasing those vulnerabilities, right, we feel like we're showing the world our weaknesses when we at war. We at war with the perception, we at war with the judgment, we barely have alliances with anybody, right? And black men don't even feel now there's a safe space in black women. That's a conversation that's being held, right? We feel like, and as I'm using we as a collectiveness, they're saying that, you know, the overall feeling is that the loyalty is not there anymore. The grace is not there. The caring is not there because you're looking at this as some war. Now you taking information and using it against me or to the enemy. So you don't know what that feels like. It feels like all the walls are closing in on you, right? And you have to be strong enough to keep them all at bay while maintaining sanity and positivity, right? And clarity and expressing yourself and moving throughout this world and cheer and brightness and, hey, I got to perform every day and it's a task. But in reality, man, you doing all of that with the weight of darkness on your shoulders. A heavy weight. When you grow up in an environment where you've lost more friends than you can count by the age of 18, right? You're not supposed to deal with that much loss and mourning, especially not in a first world country, right? You're not supposed to have people that you have to mourn, not because they gone, maybe they lost their mind or they incarcerated. Black males often, even when you grow and get to a level of success, you have to leave so many people behind because you can't trust them no more. Not because they're evil, but because this is the reaction of poverty. We have what I call pissed. We pissed. Poverty-induced stress trauma. Right? Growing up in poverty environments creates mental illnesses. It piles on the stress. As a man, you want to provide. So when a man is in poverty, right, it is completely different than a woman, especially the black man. We want to be the alpha, at the top. We want to be the ones who are able to do. So when we don't have that, where do we resort to? We resort to the darkness. We resort to the vices, the constituents. We try to find pleasure, right, to feel the pain. We try to take things to fill the void and the space and the empty gaps. And then people say, go to a therapist. Everybody can't afford a therapist or find a good therapist because these therapists aren't trained to deal with black men. And the ones who are will be so overbooked, they couldn't deal with you. Right? I remember I had a therapist and there was a black woman, but she seemed like she needed therapy. I'm like, you seem like...
You got to teach her, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, you need me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here giving you guidance and help, but you seem like you stressed out.
Yeah, but I just had this conversation with one of my cousins or whatnot. She lost her brother, my cousin Bull or whatnot, who I always talk about. And she was telling me that she had went to therapy for, you know, and it actually didn't work for her. And she was just basically, she threw a coping mechanism at me. She was like, shit, we just got to deal with it because he wouldn't want us out here depressed and sad. But at the same time, with her saying that, it's like, shit, ain't none of us processed it, you know? So we still got to heal from it. So it's like we got to face it some way, somehow. And staying busy ain't always the answer.
Nah, busy is like, it's a Band-Aid, it's a pharmaceutical, it's not healing, right? We are overstimulated as a population. We got all these black mirrors, we got all these screens, right? Our nervous system never gets any rest. This is why I always talk about this. The safest I ever felt in my whole adult life was in Ghana. And I want to thank you, Ghana, for that. And y'all can say what y'all want, and people that be trying to create all these disruptions and about Africans and blacks is so silly. But I understand. But as a grown man, I ain't never felt safe in America. Never. It always feels like there's a target. Speaking truth, you always feel like there's a target. You know, not going alone. You ain't gonna be the one who bend over and get down on their knees. You're not accepted nowhere, right? If you do make success, somebody counting your pockets. People don't feel like there's enough room for everybody. It becomes a crab in a barrel mentality. People don't want to help when you do get there and you realize, like, damn, people up here are just like the same capitalists that is of other color. So you start to figure out what the hell is the point of all of this. And the higher you go up, it doesn't look more optimistic. No, it feels more pessimistic because the mentalities of the successful start to change. They operate just like everybody else. I talked about my challenges of like getting advertisers. You can't do that, but I shouldn't have a issue with it from our own people. But everybody watches, nobody supports. I see what you're doing, but you ain't gonna help me do it. So what you learn is the game is I can't communicate with you like a brother. I gotta communicate with you like a businessman.
Yeah.
I gotta talk numbers to you because if this is not beneficial to you from a capitalist consciousness, you're not gonna do nothing to it because you don't want to empower another black man. Let's talk about it for real. So not only we got the issues, we don't feel safe going to other black men, black women, nobody. So now what does that do? Now you're suffering alone. And you can't get out of anything suffering by yourself. You go through things by yourself with the stoicism to get through it, but you're supposed to have somebody or something that becomes an outlet. You're supposed to be able to unload some of those burdens, but at the same time, you don't unload your heaviest burdens. You go through that work through yourself. You can go through that darkness. Yeah, you got that ability. I want you to know that. But we've lost our magic and our ability to alchemically turn pain to lead into gold, right? Our pain into gold. And this is why hip hop has been such a powerful expression and outlet for us, but we now have more than hip hop, right? We can create our businesses, we can create our arts in many different forms, and we can get those off, right? And so you have to embrace your own darkness. You have to embrace your shadows because the black man is still the most attractive man in the world that the whole world watches, follows, studies, loves, admires, imitates, emulate.
Yeah.
We still the desire of the world because we are the darkest, literally, on the inside and out. But we got that light too. And that right there, that's why the world loves us. And you got to fall back in love with yourself, back in love with your power. You have to know yourself. You have to know you a God. And you can't be afraid to embrace that. You are becoming more than you even know. Everything is just preparing us. We ain't saying this to fall down. We saying that God putting us through the most because the responsibility we got next as the inheritors of this world is going to require the top soldiers, the top generals, the most experienced, those who have that ability. That conversation that bro Logic had with his father, he cried in front of his father and he said, yeah, man, you want peace, love, and unity. He said, well, you got to have strength, hope, and experience. Right? He like, man, you don't get the light without the dark. Logic is literally light. His father is dark. He may have been a drug addict. He may have done those mistakes, but he's like, son, If I wasn't who I was and you wasn't longing for that pain, how do you know you was able to ever tap into yourself? Yeah. Because what you was looking for in me, you found in your gifts. Yeah. And that's how we have to be. And when we find ourselves again, our women will find us as well. Because they're going to find a whole man, right? And this is something that I'm going to be teaching about, psychological wholeness. Because there's so many missing gaps in our ability to move throughout the world because we're not psychologically whole. We are in an adolescent stage, a pubescent stage. We haven't been able to grow because trauma stunts your growth. Self-wars, reaching your zenith, coming soon.
Yeah, but shout out to GHerbo and T Grizzly. I seen that he say he doing ayahuasca or whatnot. You know,
Yeah.
I want to highlight that because you know they drill rappers. You know they whole fan base.
Listen, Solomon, you can speak. If my chain's not straight, he text me my chain's not straight. You could just tell me.
Oh yeah.
No, get that. Let me know. I want to be out here shining.
Don't be interrupting me though.
You know what? You're right. Your mental health matters. It's just like.
Nah, for real though. But shout out to T Grizzly and GHerbo. You know they whole fan base is the Young Thundercats or whatnot. But they now using their platform to speak on these mental health issues or whatnot. And that's powerful because the shit we've been telling these rappers to do that all this time. You got all these followers, where you leading them to? Think about that.
So here's another thing, Nas. My brothers at EYL had a dinner with Nas. Damn, I feel like I'm bringing them up a lot. Shout out to Rashad and Troy. Nas said something. He's an avid watcher of high-level conversations, apparently. That's not a surprise. I met Nas like 3 times and always good energy. You know, Nas, he had a message for me before when I met him at Snoop party, matter of fact, the second time. But this time, he got a message to me. And I think y'all gonna enjoy this message. So he said, you know, I love high-level conversations. Now you gotta imagine like the belly scene. You know, I love high-level conversations.
He just put a 10 on it, didn't he?
No,
go ahead. It's your story. I'm gonna let you tell it. Go
it's
ahead.
my life. I'm gonna live it.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You know, I love high-level conversations. That's the Elohim. That's the God. But please, tell Keys, let the guest speak. Especially when it's the elders, you know? No, I love Keys. I rock with them. But just please tell them, let the guest speak. Sometimes you interrupt the guest. All right, God, I hear you. You know, I've seen those comments before. And I'm like, I got my formula. It's a conversation. I let it flow. But here's the thing. You got to listen to the people. And if it took Nas to get, if it took Nas.
He got to listen to the people, but he picked the person.
No, it's just, I feel like it was accumulative. If it was just Nas that said it, I wouldn't listen. I'll be honest with you. But because it was the comments, it was the people, and I've heard this before. You feel me?
But
I
he
will
had
listen.
the loudest voice.
No, he don't even speak that loud. But I think it's accumulative. It's like, okay, that's a sign, that's a signal. You feel me? So I'm going to be letting the guests speak more on high-level conversations. There you go. You have it here. Shout out to God's son. Shout out to Nas the God. You feel me? It's good. Escobar, we got this.
Man.
I wanna do a track. Matter of fact, we get in the studio. You feel me? Them Escobar keys. Let's get it going. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
All right, I got stuff to do, man. I can't be here all day.
You sure?
Yeah. We can say the rest for next time.
All right, we're going to say the rest for next time. But I forgot to tell y'all on the last episode, that was actually the 2-year mark of the Man to Man podcast. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Man to Man podcast. I appreciate everybody who see me on the road and be like, when y'all dropping another episode? When? Because we got kind of busy last year, you know. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all got us back refocused. And we'll be back next week with another episode. Please don't do nothing crazy, because I don't want to have to talk about it. Peace out.